Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick video about enthalpy, which is basically heat and how it is put into equations, because I think these are really important things to know in dealing with some problems that you're going to see this week. So let's say that you have an equation where a plus 3b goes to make, sorry, I'm looking for my highlighter here, a plus 3b goes to make 2c plus d. You may be told that delta H is negative 240 kilojoules. Well, delta H is how we show energy in a reaction. And it can be shown either as delta H to the side, like we have here, or it can be written into the actual equation. So if you have an exothermic reaction, so you have a negative delta H, you'll see that you could write it to the side like negative delta H. Or if you were to write this in the equation, that means that this is the same thing. In other words, you could actually add your heat to this equation, and therefore we can get lots of inequalities that are great things to use for our stoichiometry types of problems. So we could say now that 2b in this equation would be equal to negative 120 kilojoules, and we can put that in fraction form when we go to complete problems. On the other hand, if you have an endothermic reaction, it's going to be a positive delta H. So that's what is an endothermic reaction. Let me move this up. Okay, and in that case, we might see it as written like this. So we have delta H that's positive, or we could write it as a reactant because that's required in order to get this reaction to happen. So again, we can have some type of relationship now that like 3b is equal to 240 kilojoules, or we can put that in fraction form as well. Okay. In the last video, we talked about how to determine the energy that was produced in this equation. And we said that we've got 0.158 grams of magnesium. We didn't even use that because we didn't need to. But if we were looking for delta H, we do need to use that because delta H tells me something that's related to this entire equation right here. So actually, it's very similar to that other problem that we did. We still have to figure out how much heat is released from the system. And then we basically say, this is how much heat is released per mole of magnesium, because there is an understood 1 right there, right? So basically, all you have to do is convert your grams of magnesium to moles of magnesium and realize that the delta H of the reaction is the heat of that reaction, which we have right here, divided by moles of magnesium. And so we just plug these numbers in and we get what that delta H is. So if you're having difficulty with, is that negative, is that positive? Remember, heat was released in this case. We've got a negative value here, so I should have written that in right there. And that's where this negative delta H comes in. It's an exothermic reaction. We know because it heated things up. Thank you very much. I hope that helps.